Hello there and welcome to Artist Endeavour, the channel where I endeavour to make you a great artist. Okay, so this video will be how to draw the ears. I will be teaching you how to draw the ears at 3 different angles. So this time I'll be starting at the side view, then the front view, then the 3/4 view. Okay, so to begin with, we don't really have any guidelines to start, so generally draw a basic ear shape, which is like a big letter C or a backward C, depending on which way you're painting the ear. So just keep it rough to begin with. As with most things organic, the shape isn't 100%, there's different variations, so the shape doesn't have to be 100% perfect, but if you can get the shape generally in the same area as the ear I'm drawing now. The upper point of where the ear starts and the lower point of where the ear ends, if you can roughly get them in line with each other, it doesn't have to be perfect, just make sure the bottom part of the ear where it attaches to the head, where the earlobe is further along towards the front of the head than the top part of the ear where the top part attaches to the head. It's not often the other way around, although both points can be in line with each other. Okay, so I just need to refine the line, making sure the ear shape is generally accurate and the line smooth. Okay, so that's the basic shape done. Okay, so now the tricky bit. So as you know, the detail of the inner ear has quite a few different shapes, you know, some of which can look quite alien actually. I think it's the most alien looking body part the human has, I think. So the best way to remember what the inner ear looks like is to break it down in parts. So I've broken this down into 3 different areas, 3 different distinct looks. So the first one is, if you imagine a big letter P, and the P starts with a line that mimics the outline of the ear, and so you're just basically doing the same shape but a bit further in. But when the line goes round towards the upper part of the end, it bends round and goes back towards itself. The line doesn't link up with itself. That's roughly where it stops. So that's the first part. Okay, so the second part. So again, you start off drawing the same shape parallel to the other 2 lines, but then bends and goes into the circular corner of the P there. So if you imagine this to be a hand, like an arm reaching up, and an open hand with well, you don't see the fingers, but just think of a palm with a thumb sticking out. So it's like reaching to the corner and with its arm going down and bending kind of parallel to the earlobe, but by increasing the distance from the outer edge of the ears as it's flowing down. And also, just if you imagine the arm getting a bit thinner, so there's a bit of a gap forming between the outer thickness of skin and the arm area that you've just drew. Not all ears are like this. Sometimes they've just got a little line instead of a circular area at the bottom. Ultimately, all ears will have these general shapes, but they're not going to be the exact shape, obviously. So that's the second part. And so the third part is quite a bit easier than the second part. It just continues on. It links up from the second part where you left it at the bottom near the earlobe. And then if you imagine it being a big sort of stretched number 3, it kind of looks like a 3 shape. It's about the best way I can explain it really. And then kind of mimics the bent end of the P that you originally did. So it stays parallel to the end of the P that you first made. So it shows that the skin sort of merges down into the inner ear area. Okay, so that's basically the basic shape. So now it's just refining the shape, making the lines sharp again, and then we should get a good realistic looking ear outline. Yeah, so I appreciate it might be a bit confusing how I'm describing it, but it's extremely difficult trying to describe these shapes. Okay, so I'll just go over the inner detail again, making sure the lines are nice and sharp and smooth. So to recap, the first shape is a P, a capital letter P. The second shape is an arm grabbing, kind of grabbing, it's a bit open arm towards the corner of the P. And the third shape is a stretched, distorted number 3, linking from the second part of the arm. Yeah, I can't really be clearer than that, but hopefully the vision speaks for itself. So seeing how it's drawn rather than describing it, that's really what would help you the most, I think. So make sure you're always happy with the rough line art before refining and sharpening the edges. You don't want to start sharpening edges and refining the line art and making it look neat when the shape isn't exactly how you want it. So always check and double check, make sure the shape's correct. Okay, so on this one, I think I'll only do it on this viewpoint, but I'll be adding in some toning. So I'll just quickly do some basic toning, basic painting. just so you can see the darker tones and the lighter tones. So you can see what's in shadow, generally in shadow, and what's generally in light. It's just smoothing over some of the tone. I'm not going to go into too much detail, just the basic toning will be fine. So you can actually feel the form. Get a better understanding what sticks out and what sticks in. Okay, nearly done. Okay, so there it is. So you can see the dark and light tones. I think they may be a bit too harsh, so there's too many bright tones and too dark tones without being too many mid-tones. So I want to try and add a bit more mid-tones to the ear here. So just quickly add them. They look a bit more realistic. That's looking better now. Okay, that's it. That's the side view of the ear. So just remember them 3 sections, 3 points, and you can't go far at one. Now, as I mentioned with the different variations of shapes, so here I've just given some 3 other examples. Well, 2 other examples. The original one was to the left there, without any toning. But as you can see, The three main points of the P, the arm and the free are still actually there, but different warped shapes, different variations there, and the different outer shape as well. If you look particularly on the third ear to the right, it's a bit more pointy, it pushes out a bit more to the left, and the shape is distinctively different from the other two, but the basic shape of the P, the arm and the free is still evident. You should have a realistic looking ear. As long as you don't take the shapes to extreme proportions, then your ears should look fine. Okay, so now we'll be drawing the front view of the ear. So I'll just quickly be drawing the outside of the head, the area where the ear attaches the side of the head. So I'm just refining the line. So I'm drawing the side of the head and the jawline. Okay, so the placement of the ear on the head is important, so I'm going to be drawing some guidelines. So you'll be seeing the eye line and the nose line. Okay, so I just write on top there, just so don't need to remember. Okay, so the ear, the top of the ear practically starts where the eye line is, and that's where the ear is attached to the side of the head, and the bottom of the ear practically goes in line with the nose line. Okay, and the shape of the ear again has different variations, but the general shape is kind of like a circular top and a circular bottom with a bit of a inner curve in the middle. So once you're happy with the shape, which will look a bit similar to what I'm drawing here, then you can start adding the detail. Also bear in mind that this is just a typical orientation of the ear, as some people have ears that stick out more. So if you want the ears to stick out more, then you just draw the outline of the ear further away from the side of the head, but keeping the general ear shape you see on the screen. Okay, so to do the details, it'll be the same as the side view, although from this angle it will look a little bit different. So we start with the first section, which is the letter P. Once again, the top bend of the P doesn't fully link up with the stalk of the P. Okay, so just going over the shape once you're happy with it. Okay, so with that done, now it's time to do the second part, which will be the arm reaching up. Now this one's a bit different, it looks different from this angle. So the middle arm part actually bends outwards, so from this angle it's obscuring the bottom bit of the P from the mid to bottom bit of the first marking, which is the letter P marking. And the top of this second arm type marking, the top goes a bit more to the right on the bend of the P. Okay, so just get rid of the stalk of the P a bit, since it's behind the second section. So I've just added in a very small circle. That's the palm and the finger, but from this angle you can't really see it that clearly because it's a bit obscured by the curve of the P there. Now it's time for the third section. I just need to change the P orientation a bit, I think, because it needs to link up with the third number 3 section. So I just need to do that again. Okay, so that's the 3. Also needed that little bend in the middle there where the end of the P and the 3 meet up. Okay, so it looks okay. It looks different from this angle than the side view. So the middle bit with the end of the P does actually trail off, so it doesn't link up to the 3, but I'll need to draw it like this to begin with to make sure the details are in proportion within the ear from this angle. Okay, so I'm just adding in the bend of the P again, so I'll be around about there. So the bottom part of the 3, where it's parallel to the end of the P, that's hidden behind the bump at the midsection there, the small bump. Okay, so I just need to put that number 3 on a new layer, lassoing the area, then cutting it out, just so I can switch on the 3 section, which I'll do in a sec. So then I can show you each section one at a time like I did in the last viewpoint. Okay, so you got the P, which is 1, and then you got the arm, which is 2, and then you got the distorted 3, which is 3. And that's the details for the front view of the ear. Okay, so now we've got the 3/4 view of the ear, and as demonstrated in the front view of the ear, you'll need the nose line. That's just going to tell me the placement of the ear. So I'm just going around and filling the lines of the original guidelines there, so you can see the ear a bit clearer. Okay, so I'm just placing the ear, general ear shape as before. And from this angle, the outer outline of the ear in the center doesn't bow in the middle. From this angle, the ear shape is completely concaved or rounded. Okay, so I'll just get rid of some of these guidelines so you can see the ear a bit clearer. Refining the shape once again. Okay, so that's the basic outline of the ear. Just place the top part of the ear a bit down on the tip at the top there. So I'll just flip the image there to stop the picture from being skewed. Okay, so now we start with the first section of the inner detail, which is once again the P. and then doing the second one, which is the arm, fingerless hand and thumb. From this angle, it's going to be more similar to the side view than the front view. And there's the 3, and that's basically it. Make sure you add a little line just below the 3 there, because that's a part of the skin where the skin protrudes out slightly near the earlobe there. Just changing the shape of the earlobe. Just refining and smoothing the shape of the back of the head, just to make it look a bit more solid. Okay, and that's it. That's the ear from the 3/4 view. Okay, so that's the end of this tutorial. So that's all the basic head features taken care of. So now we'll be trying to make a few different kinds of videos maybe. Of course there'll be more tutorials. Okay, so I've got some really cool ideas for some topics for some next videos and for future videos. So stay tuned and look out for those. Okay, so thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe and like the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.